What's going on YouTube? Happy New Year's to all of you. Yes, we've been on a bit of a hiatus, but all of us were getting busy with life and moving career changes and whatnot. So that kind of thing took a primary focus. But nonetheless, we are back and kicking it into high gear. My name is Pushaman, and I am 1/3 of Chimera Team Gaming, and today we're continuing with highlighting indie games that we're either playing or hyped about. The game that I'll be discussing is My Friend Pedro. Before I get into it though, don't forget to like and subscribe to support the channel. This would essentially let us know if we're on the right track with our efforts and that we're bringing content you will enjoy. So this is a Devolver Digital published game, and the developers of this great game is DeadToast Entertainment. You know, anything that comes from Devolver is a bit guaranteed to be pretty damn good. From Hotline Miami, Enter the Gungeon to Katana Zero, they just make wholesome, enjoyable games. My Friend Pedro, what is it? Well, it is a 2.5 immersive shoot-'em-up game that lets you infiltrate areas, shoot bounty hunters that are on your tail, all in slow motion, wall jumping, flipping, dodging, kicking body parts for a headshot, Skater Boy P, cool trick, badassery, satisfying goodness. It was released in June 2019 on PC and Nintendo Switch, and it recently released on Xbox One in December. I've had all month to play this game, and I enjoyed each session playing this bad boy. It is incredibly fun, and the replayability, although provided in one aspect, is definitely there. It's another easy game to pick up, but hard to master. It's all about getting the highest points for kills and keeping that kill streak active, all while making sure to dodge bullets, not die, and kill all the enemies on the level in a reasonable time to be able to get a high score or beat the stage with an A or S grade, all while looking like a complete badass doing it. So it's about you, the protagonist, figuring out what the hell happened to you basically. Why were you kidnapped, and why were you taken out back to be disposed of? You have an omniscient banana companion that is almost like the devil on your shoulder, telling you he will help you through and get you to the bottom of what happened to you. Such a nice friend. There is no spoilers in there, but there will be a bit coming up in this video, so leave now. Just kidding. Not kidding if you don't want the game to be spoiled for you though. So what's good about My Friend Pedro? I can definitely say the presentation and gameplay of the game is very satisfying. It is a normal room-to-room clearing side-scroller shooter, but the incredible slow-mo effects and cool parkour stunts and tricks you can do adds a lot of flavor and style to the game. The base mechanics are nothing new, but when presented in this fashion, makes it very refreshing. It's like a 2.5D Max Payne and a John Woo film mashed up. And it works. I mean, hear me out. In one sequence, right? You can swing on a rope, crash through a window, split aim with dual Uzis or pistols to kill two enemies, jump from wall to wall while blasting enemies in between jumps, to then jump over a wall and slow-mo to get that perfect shot on a jerry can to explode nearby enemies and land on a skateboard and ride off to the next set of baddies. No exaggeration. Being able to skateboard and shoot, using frying pans or to ricochet your bullets to clear out a room, blasting bodies and using body parts to kick and get a headshot on enemies is honestly creative and satisfying when you hit it correctly. In these moments, including the slow-mo and the way the protagonist twirls to dodge, it all comes together like a beautifully brutal ballet. I do think that in some parts of the game, the fluidity of the gameplay is sometimes negatively affected. What do I mean by that? Well, when riding a skateboard, jumping with the skateboard, and just trying to keep it under you, it isn't very stable and the board flies everywhere. The crates that block your path and you need to break them down to get through them, sometimes a small piece will survive and stop you from progressing on, which will either get you killed, stop your streak, or slow you down, throwing off your momentum tremendously. Also, sometimes when you're flipping and spinning in the air, and when you have to land and you come down awkwardly, your character may land head first, trying to become upright, and that slight physics twitch can be enough to make you stop shooting your target and end your streak. Other than those things, it's pretty stable and your movement with the protagonist is pretty fluid. From wall jumping to even being able to control the height of your jumps and aiming throughout, you doing all those flips and stunts and shit, it keeps a good consistent flow throughout. For the story plot, spoilers here. You are an unnamed individual that wakes up in a butcher shop with your memories wiped. You have no idea who you are and how you ended up in this situation, and all you have is a talking banana in your ear telling you to murder everything in your way. You run through gangs, thugs, mobsters, bounty hunters, trained specialists, gamers, and even haters. But you gotta annihilate the haters. So the story is a bit engaging and it unravels as soon as you get to the final area, you realize you've been murdering your family the whole entire time. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. It does keep you interested enough to getting down to the bottom of who you are and how you ended up in the situation. Outside of that, it isn't too much there until you get to the very end. So finish the game. I do wish that while you are going through most of the levels, there is more story plot interactions like how it is on the internet stage area. Slowly sprinkling that lore throughout would have kept me more engaged in the story. But I will say I understand why they wouldn't do that, because it's so much to take in on just a level, and while you're trying to complete the level, sticking those in somewhere just wouldn't really fit and would probably throw off your groove. Next up, the music and soundtrack is banging. The music changes when action kicks up and sets the tone for each level and world you go into. It sets the ambiance just right, and you would want to hear some banging beats to keep that fast-paced adrenaline gameplay going. That momentum coinciding with some of the music is very nice. So we went through a lot of what makes the game worth it. Even though it is very well done, there are some flaws. One of the major flaws to me, personally, is the auto aim assist in the game. It will get in your way, period. The auto aim assist is probably the only thing that makes the game feel very clunky at times. When facing enemies and trying to clear a room, it's a bit difficult to pinpoint and position yourself on that enemy. What made me rage a couple times was when they have enemies behind each other, and when one fell, they would have this Family Guy moment and fall awkwardly, but still stand straight up in my goddamn way, which resulted in me pelting an already disposed carcass and ultimately losing my kill streak and making me rage and restart the level. This happened too many times that I can count, and it's even more apparent when you unlock the assault rifle as a weapon of choice to use. It's definitely frustrating as well when swinging or when enemies are behind breakable objects and the auto aim assist constantly and consistently makes you shoot the object in front of them instead of aiming just a bit higher where I positioned it to get that headshot. To me, the most precise weapons were the dual pistols, the shotgun, and the sniper rifle. Big surprise there. I did not feel a lot of assisting happening with these weapons as much as the others, so I just stuck with them and used them throughout the game the most. Another thing I can say about the game is that most of the fun happens at the beginning of it. It's very top heavy with action, and the level differentiation is more vast in the beginning worlds up until you reach the sewers, where you have to face the gamers. Then it starts to taper off and add more puzzle elements, and then it adds more survivability checks, or what I like to call it, how well is your timing? Many of my favorite stages are at the beginning, but to piggyback on a comment earlier about the story, at the end of the game is where the plot really starts to thicken. So they toned it down to add more story elements and survivability checks to get you to pay attention to that instead of the action. Nonetheless, this aspect didn't take away from the game, it's just something to make note of. All in all, my Friend Pedro is an absolute blast. It does a really fine job at timing the progression you receive new weapons and giving a minor tutorial to learn stylish new finishers to boost that score. The leaderboards aspect leaves you wanting to chase down that number one spot, but outside of that, I wish there was more of a reward to get me to want to push myself for a higher score. Like, allow me to unlock new skins, new game modifiers, just something to make me want to play the game just for a little bit longer after I have completed it on the hardest difficulty. It is a fantastic 5 to 7 hour long game that you can run through fairly quickly and get maximum amounts of enjoyment and feel like a complete badass anti-hero with an overly possessive bestie that would do anything to hold on to its friendship with you. So if you've asked yourself lately, what game should I play? My Friend Pedro definitely gets my vote. It's simple, jam-packed with fun, and just a playground sandbox for slow-mo excellence. Pick it up and try it. You won't be disappointed. Unless you have a PS4, because it's not out for that console just yet. And that about wraps it up, folks. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more content like this. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button as well. And as I said in the beginning, we're back on that grind, and so there will be more to come. If you have a game that you'd like to see on the channel, let us know in the comments down below and we'll make sure we get to it. Alright everybody, once again, my name is Pushaman and we are Chimera Team Gaming, where we let our passion for gaming become a three-headed beast. We'll catch you on the next video. Deuces.